Hi friends, this is Professor Vinod D'Souza, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, AJ Institute of Engineering and Technology, Mangalore. Today we will discuss the topic called as chemical modification. As you have seen from the previous topics, modification or solidification of the soil can be done by four different methods, out of which first one is called as compaction, where the soil is compacted by using the machineries to get the required strength. Second method is called as hydraulic modification, where by providing drainage systems or by removing the water which includes in the soil, we can strengthen the soil or we can modify the properties of the soil. Third method of modification is called as chemical modification. In this method, we are adding certain chemicals or certain foreign matters to the soil to improve the certain properties of the soil. And the last method is by reinforcement. That is, in the sense, we can add steel rods, geopolymers, geofibers, and varieties of materials to strengthen the soil. So, today in this class, we will have a discussion about chemical modification. Before going to this chemical modification, let us see what do you mean by soil stabilization. Normally, when we get a site for any of our construction purposes, the soil testing will be done. And once we found that the soil is not suitable for any type of construction, now different matters or different things will come to your mind. That is, one is whether it is possible to change the site or not. But nowadays we know the scenarios. The cost of the site is very huge and the availability of land is also less. So in those cases, it is not possible to change the site. Whatever site available, we have to make the use of that site itself by changing or altering the properties. That is the first thing. So indicates that now we cannot change the site. Whatever site is available, whatever soil is available in the site, we have to use that soil as it is. Now the second thing comes to our mind, can we change the design or not? Initially, if you have decided to construct a high-rise building, now because of the properties of the soil, what things comes to mind is, can we go for a smaller building? Maybe we can reduce the number of floors. Again, that will be a loss of money. The profit, whatever we are going to earn, is reduced. Third thing is, you change the foundation design. Instead of going for simple designs, simple foundations like isolated footing, combined footing, we have to go for deep foundations like piles or other methods, which will increase the cost of construction. Then the last option comes is how to strengthen the soil without doing any compromise in the design. That is called as soil stabilization or soil modification. Here we are not going to replace the entire soil available in the site. We are keeping the same soil, but we are adding something extra to the soil. We are mixing the soil with some chemicals so that we can improve the properties of the soil, and that's how we will get the required strength of the soil. So thing is, improving on site soil engineering properties is called as soil modification or soil stabilization. Here the properties called as strength, density, compaction, consolidation, permeability, we are doing changes in these properties. And here we are discussing about the two topics. One is called as soil modification, other topic is called as soil stabilization. Soil modification means Here we are doing only the minor changes in the properties of the soil. We are not going to change the entire soil. We are not going to change all the properties of the soil. Only minor changes will be done so that we can acquire the required strength of the soil. That is called as soil modification. The second term is called as soil stabilization. Stabilizing a soil implies the modification of the properties of a soil water air system in order to obtain lasting properties which are compatible with a particular application. We know that soil is a three-phase system which contains solids, water and air. By doing the changes in the composition of these three objects, we can improve the strength of the soil, and that is called as soil stabilization. Another definition for soil stabilization is referred to as a procedure in which a special soil is proportioned, added or removed, or a cementing material or other chemical material is added to a natural soil to improve its properties. It need not be only a chemicals or only a foreign matters. Only some type of soil also can be added, mixed thoroughly, so that its strength can be changed. Or some chemicals like cement, flash, lime, bituminous, those chemicals are added to improve the soil. This is called as soil stabilization, and nowadays this topic is gaining the importance because of the certain factors. That is, one is site is costly, we cannot change the soil, we cannot change the design, we cannot change the foundation design. So in order to get all these things, we are going for soil stabilization. Let us see what are the requirements of soil stabilization. First basic thing we expect from soil stabilization is called as strength. When the soil is strong, when gets required strength, then only we can think of constructing any structure on that soil. And its strength varies with respect to type of soil, whether the soil available is cohesion-less soil or whether the soil available is cohesive soil. In terms of cohesion-less soil, strength could be improved by providing confinement or by adding cohesion with a cementing or binding agent. We know that in case of cohesion-less soil, the particles will be slightly larger. They will not be sticking together. That indicates that cohesion forces will be zero. Only because of internal friction, the soil is getting the required strength. If we add some chemicals whereby we can improve the cohesion or adhesion property of the soil, definitely the strength will be increased. With respect to cohesive soil, strength could be increased by drying. The cohesive soil like clay or silty soils, if the soil is wet, the strength will be less. Same thing, if the soil is dry, it gains a lot of strength. A lot of changes will be occurred. So the strength could be increased by drying. Making the soil moisture resistant. That means we have to protect the soil so that water will not enter inside the soil. If the water will not enter the soil will remain dry, and that's how it will gain the strength. By altering the clay electrolyte concentrations, the clay particles which will contain the electrolyte concentrations, by altering these properties, we can improve the strength. By increasing the cohesion with a cementing agent, again we know that cohesive soil is having cohesion. Still, if the cohesion is less, we can improve the cohesion by adding some binding materials. That's how we can improve the strength. And also the strength can be gained by adding frictional properties. You know that the two parameters from which we can gain the strength are, one is cohesion, one is friction. If both the properties are there in the soil, definitely the strength of the soil will be high. So this is first requirement what you receive from the soil stabilization. Second requirement we have to see, it is called as compressibility of the soil, and this compressibility can be reduced by consolidation or by compaction. The topic compaction already we have studied in the previous chapters. Compaction is nothing but removal of air content from the soil, and that can be done by using some mechanical instruments or mechanical equipments like rollers, compactors or vibrators. So compressibility is nothing but it is a reduction or reduced by consolidation. Consolidation nothing but removal of water from the soil. We know that it is a natural process. We have to provide the means so that the water will escape from the soil, and that's how it will gain the required strength. Compressibility also can be improved by filling the voids with an appropriate material, cementing the grains with a rigid material. The normal soil will contain voids, and we know that if the voids are more, the strength will be less. If we reduce the voids, definitely the density will increase, and that's how the strength of the soil will increase. Or by altering the interparticle electrical forces. Third requirement, that is swelling and shrinkage, can be controlled by adding cementing agents. Again, we know that finer materials like cohesive soils, it will shrink and swell when it comes in contact with the moisture, and this can be reduced by adding cementing agents. When we add the cementing agents to the soil, the particles will be in contact with each other, they will be sticking to each other so that there won't be any voids where water can enter inside the soil. And if the water will not enter the soil, there are no chances that swelling and shrinkage will occur. This property also can be changed by altering the double layer thickness and property. The clay particles, which is having a double layer of water, the water particles surrounding the clay particles, which is called as double layer or absorbed water, and which will be very difficult to remove it. So by altering this property, definitely we can improve the swelling and shrinkage properties. Also by preventing moisture changes. Fourth requirement is called as permeability. Permeability is nothing but it is the property of the soil where it allows the water to flow through the voids, and this can be reduced by filling the voids with an impervious material. If we get coarse grained soil, the fine grained soil can be mixed with it so that we can reduce the voids, and in turn we can reduce the permeability. If we get fine grained soils, we can add the binding material so that we can join the particles and we can reduce the permeability. Also, the permeability can be increased by removing fines or creating an aggregate grain structure. Sometimes for some works, the permeability should be high so that water which enters immediately, it has to escape from the voids. In that case, we can remove the finer materials in the soil so that water easily escapes through the soil.
Hi friends.
So what is the advantages of soil stabilization? Advantages are, once we do the stabilization of soil, it waterproofs the soil. That means there is no chances that water will enter inside the soil. It improves the strength of the soil. It will help to reduce soil volume changes due to temperature or moisture. It improves the soil workability. It reduces dust in work environment. It improves the durability of the soil. It dries the wet soil. It reduces the cost, and it conserves the energy, which is very, very important in this case, because we are not going to change the soil, we are not going to remove the soil and dump it at some other places, or we are not going to bring the soil from faraway places. So this will retain the existing natural environment, which conserves the energy. Also, it reduces the cost of construction. It dries the wet soil because of various methods. It improves the durability of the soil. It reduces the dust in the environment. So these are certain advantages what we are going to get from soil stabilization. So while discussing about the advantages and other requirements, we have to see what is the criteria required for soil stabilization. This criteria will be whatever methods we are going to adopt, that method should be compatible with the soil and material. We may adopt chemical stabilization, we may go for convection, we may go for adding reinforcement to the soil, but whatever methods we have chosen, those should be compatible with the soil and material. Second criteria will be the methods should, whatever we have adopted, should be permanent. Once we have done with the stabilization, it should last for a longer duration. It should sustain all the weathers, maybe hot weather, rainy seasons, all seasons that stabilization should be there. The method should be easily handled and processed, and it should be cheap and safe. Okay, these are the criteria which we have to see, and based on which we can decide what methods we can adopt for the soil. So along with this, we have various methods available for stabilization, and they are classified as mechanical stabilization, which indicates improving the soil gradation or arrangements. Here in this process, we are not going to add any extra chemicals to the soil, only we are changing the soil gradation or arrangement of the soil so that the particles will come closer to each other, and that's how the soil gains the strength. The second method is called as cementing, where binding the particles together without that alteration. Here we are adding certain chemicals so that it will act like a cement, or it will act like a binder where particles will be touched, contacted with each other, which will increase the strength. Third one is physico-chemical alteration. Here we are changing the clay minerals or the clay water system so that the soil will get the required strength. We have the method called as aggregants and dispersions. That means alteration of electrical forces between the soil particles in a modest way. We have the next method called as void filling, where plugging in all the voids or sealing all the voids so that the water entry will be restricted, and that's how we can improve the strength. And the last method is called as consolidation. Now let us see various methods one by one. First method, it is called as mechanical stabilization. In mechanical stabilization, we are improving the soil properties by proportioning of coarse and fine aggregate soil together. That means we are mixing the coarse aggregates with the fine aggregates. We know that coarse grained soil will be having larger voids. Mixing this coarse grained soil with fine grained soil, the fine grained soil, whatever enters in the coarse grained soil, they will fill all the voids. All the voids will be packed here so that there is no chance for the water to enter, and that's how we can improve the strength. One more definition for mechanical stabilization is rearranging of soil particles by some mechanical means is also referred to as mechanical stabilization. Rearranging of soil particles. Whatever particles are available, just we are arranging the particle directions. Sometimes we have the various directions like flocculated, honeycombed, various structures we have. By changing the structure, we can improve the mechanical stabilization of the soil. This can be done by mixing of natural coarser grained soil and fine grained soil to obtain a mixture that develops adequate internal friction and cohesion. With doing so, by doing mixing coarse grained soils and fine grained soils, we can improve the internal friction, also we can improve the cohesive. That's how by improving both the properties we can get the required strength of the soil. And this method, it covers two methods of changing the soil particles. One is rearrangement of soil particles and second is improvement of soil gradation. With the improvement of soil gradation, we will get all diameter of soils in a particular sample. And that's all. When we know that when we have all diameter of soil particles in a sample, it is called as well-graded soil. Well-graded soil, we get a S type of curve, and that's how we can improve the strength of the soil. In mechanical stabilization, mechanical stability depends upon degree of compaction. What type of method we are adopting for the compaction, how much degree of compaction we are adopting, how many layers of compaction we will be doing, what are different equipments we are using for compaction. So this strength will depend on all these factors. We may use smooth wheeled rollers, we may use sheep footed rollers, we may use vibrators, we may use drop hammers, we may use vibration flotation techniques. By adopting these methods, we can improve the strength of the soil. And normally the compaction is done at optimum water content. Optimum water content is nothing but it's a minimum water at which the soil gains the maximum strength, and this property we need to find out from the laboratory, and based on this property, based on this strength, optimum moisture content, we can improve the strength. The uses of these methods are the simple method of soil stabilization, because we don't have to bring any other chemicals from outside, we don't have to mix these chemicals to the soil. Just by adopting simple techniques like rolling, vibrating, we can improve the strength. Second is to improve the subgrades of low bearing capacity. For roads, we need a stronger subgrade, and for this the bearing capacity will be high, which can be improved by using this mechanical stabilization, and is extensively used for construction of base, subbase and surfacing of roads. Normally this method is adopted for construction of pavements, where we need to construct base course, subbase course and surfacing, where we are mixing variety of soils so that we can improve the strength. The various factors which affects the mechanical stabilization are: one is mechanical strength of the aggregates. The mixed soil is stable if the aggregates used have higher strength. However, if the mixture is properly designed and compacted, even the aggregates of relatively low strength can provide good mechanical stability. Whatever aggregates we are using in mechanical stabilization, those aggregates should have a good strength so that when we roll it, they should not crush or should not become powder. If they become powder, then the purpose will not be served. Second factor is mineral composition. The mechanical stability of the mixed soil depends upon the composition of the minerals. The minerals whatever we are using should be weather resistant. Third factor is gradation. The gradation of the mixed soil should be such that the voids of the coarser particles are filled with finer particles to obtain a higher density. That's why when we select a soil, we have to see the proper gradation of the soil. We should know what is the gradation of the existing soil, and we should know what is the gradation of the mixing soil so that they will mix thoroughly and the voids will be minimum. For this plasticity characteristics, for mud roads, highly plastic soils are used as binders. They possess greater cohesion, moisture retention capacity, and provide a seal against downward movement of surface water. Normally, for mud roads, there are higher chances that water will enter the roads and it will spoil or disturb the existence of the road. And by using this plastic soils, we can make the make the road as waterproof so that water will not be entered inside the soil. For base courses, the soil should have low plasticity to avoid excess accumulation of water and the resulting loss of strength. For base courses, which will be below the top forces, we have to see that the soil should have low plasticity so that the water which is accumulated should not be there inside the soil. The soil available at site may seldom meet both the requirements. It is necessary to mix soils from different sources to obtain the desired mix. So the soil properties, we know that from one place to second place the properties will change. We have to get soils from various places. We have to mix thoroughly, then only we will get the required strength. So this will finish the topic mechanical stabilization. In the second part, we will discuss about the chemical stabilization of the soil. Thank you guys.